check your excerpt. Go ahead and begin.
Okay. So, overall, in the text, we find that as the story moves forward, you see characters finding themselves in need of something else, or in need of trying to find something else. So, last line of the excerpt references to how America, or how people feel that America is that one utopian place that they all want to go to. And you find that early in the chapters, Obenze is the one who wants to go on to America, but instead he stays in Nigeria and Gunmu grows, which really draws the idea that you never really know exactly what's going on until it actually hits you. So it's kind of ironic in a way. So the conversations as far as that Obenze has with himself as the story moves on, you find that he doesn't necessarily understand American life, so to speak, but he does have a sense of self and he does know what he wants. So he finds himself moving to Europe, and that soon starts to draw problems when he can't find work easily and he goes through the problem of being deported. So the real life parallels as far as trying to find a place of your own. Think of it as someone trying to find themselves in high school. You could be a student who is somewhat introverted, who doesn't necessarily associate with a lot, but you want to be a part of everything almost. So I thought about the author's insights as well. So Chimamanda Adichie, the whole story kind of backs feminist theory or gender roles in a way and sort of challenges those notions. So when you think about the way in which Obenze and Ifembu were somewhat submissive to each other, when it came to the ideas of them wanting to move different places or almost switching roles, it was very interesting to me. And then trying to find the ideas of ethics as it goes to the chapters or the excerpt, you find that the ethical appeal of trying to find a place that you fit is very interesting to people, because no one thinks every day, oh, where am I going to go next, or what is my next move. A lot of people think just long term, like I know where I'm going, but however I get there is up to whoever decides. So also the logic in the way in which Obenze and Emenike think definitely coincides with each other.
Good morning, staff and students. This announcement is for juniors. Juniors, when the bell rings for second hour,
okay, so
the blue and the yellow group have academic approach this morning in rooms 168 and 170. Please report there for second hour. The blue group and the yellow group. If you don't remember your color, there are signs hanging up in the blue hallway. The red and the green group, second hour, please report to Dr. Vlad's room. Again, the red and green group, please report to Dr. Vlad's room. Blue and yellow, go to 168 and 170. Red and green, go to Dr. Vlad's room. Dr. Vlad's second hour, please report to the cafeteria for second hour. Thank you.
To actually think of who you want to be in the future versus what you are now. And as the story begins with, this is referencing back to Ifemelu and Obenze. So as the story begins with Ifemelu in college, you find that her as a person, she knows somewhat of why she's there or why she wants to be there, but it's odd because her and Obenze are such contrasting figures to the point of where their ideas of being a Westerner versus being from Nigeria and actually having that sense of culture and knowing where they're from, it definitely challenges their own ideas of why they love each other or why they want to be in America. And then the idea of the title, Americana, it's very odd because you think of it as the story being Ifemelu's origin story, or Ifemelu's story of her moving through life trying to find herself, which she never really does. But the idea of being an Americana is being changed in my eyes, just changing who you are. And I keep going.
No, I have to ask you some questions. So let's focus on the last line of your excerpt. And Coyote and Obenze and Monique are having a conversation because they're all in Europe at this particular time. And the last line says, "We've just moved back from America. Man, you need to go to America. There is no other country like it in the world." And so, having read the text, you know that Adichie presents a very hegemonic perspective of America, which is contradictory to this line. So talk to me about some of the ways that Adichie challenges the notion of the American dream. Do you feel like she feels like it's a fallacy? Do you feel like she kind of perpetuates the same ideas that are, permeating throughout Nigeria at that particular time and in America? How does she attack the American dream?
Well, she sort of attacks it through a feminist blog post about how America itself is odd. The man licking an ice cream cone, how that was somewhat odd in the sense that you should be out there doing something with your life in America is what a lot of people think, or that you should have the idea that you should always be working, or that this is the best place, so you might as well take advantage of it. And she challenges that through noticing the imperfections or the holes within the American dream, so to speak, and challenges that through Ifeolu's blog post, as well as the many experiences that Ifeolu faces of her ending up relaxing her hair for the first time and her edges disappearing. But we also find that that is just her trying to be an American, which we find that it's not necessarily the best thing. And it made me wonder, why do people want to come to America so bad? I understand that there are places that are much worse, that you could come here and there is some sense of freedom, but there is never just one thing that could keep people together.
So talk to me about some of those holes, the word you use is holes. I'm just going to borrow your vocabulary. You said that she identifies some of the holes in the theory that America is the best nation. So besides like Ifeolu getting a perm or, things where there's some inequity, like what specifically did she attack about American culture? And do you think it's justified?
The one thing that I noticed that she attacked the most were non-American blacks coming to America and being treated as if they were from America or American blacks, and having those stereotypes automatically associated with them. So she sort of goes through that by talking about how Ifeolu comes here. When she is talking to a woman about going to school and the woman is speaking slowly or as if Ifeolu does not understand English at all, and making it seem as if she is inferior. So she's challenging the notion that as people of color, we're looked at in America as if we are inferior or as if we are less, rather than being looked at as an equal, which the American Constitution so forcefully drills into people that they do not realize that it's nowhere near true.
And my final question is just the notion of race, because that is a pervading theme in this excerpt and the text. How does Adichie tackle race or ethnicity? Because we know race is social constructed, so ethnicity.
Well, ethnicity is necessarily tackled by one of the relationships that Ifeolu has, where she is with a white man, and it definitely throws a lot of people off, but at the same time it shows the idea of interracial relationships and marriages in America, and how some people do it just for the sake of being a part of an interracial relationship rather than actually having love for a person, which goes back to the theme of love.
All right. Thank you, Elijah.
Elijah, before you leave, will you drag Ms. Williams' desk back in?
And tell my AP class to give me 2 minutes.